I guess it's not even my stage name. It's Oliver Anthony Music, and so it's supposed to represent music from, you know, Oliver Anthony Music as my grandfather, and so he grew up in the 30s in the mountains and used to tell all these wild stories about how life was back then. But the music's just sort of a characterization of like that period in time and those people, you know, and that's. So yeah, when
so your real name is not Oliver.
Christopher Anthony Lunsford is my real legal name, and so that's what's on like if you look up the songwriting.
Why did you decide to sing as Oliver Anthony? Just in
well, like I said, I have it. I just had the YouTube channel listed as Oliver Anthony Music, just because like that's sort of the demeanor or the, like I said, the character I was like that older Virginia style music, like. If you go on YouTube and you look up that type of music from back then, like those old recordings of people, like that's what I just love, that type of stuff.
Do you think you're going to keep that name?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still call me Chris, and I've posted on social media, call me what. I mean, I've been called a lot worse than either of those things, but yeah, it'll stay Oliver Anthony Music indefinitely. Yeah. It's a special name, and it's a special name to me not only because it was my grandfather's name, but it's sort of like, to me, it reminds me of how different things were back then. But he was born Oliver Anthony, but everybody called him Anthony growing up, and so like he always thought his name was Anthony Oliver, and last name Engel, and so like it wasn't until he was in his 60s and going to retire, he realized that his name didn't match his birth certificate, so he had to actually change his legal name when he was in his 60s. But it's because
he thought his name was Anthony Oliver.
Yeah, and so
his whole life.
But his legal name was, and so it's and his parents named him. So it's just like, but all the paperwork back then was so scattered up because a lot of people were illiterate, and of course documents weren't tracked as well as they are now, you know. And so it's like, there's people in the family that have a different spelling and it's the same last name, but a few letters are different and stuff. But it's just kind of cool. Like, but he just thought that was crazy. He had to change his name when he was 65 so he could draw his retirement and all, because his Social Security and everything was under a totally different name. But
that's crazy.
So it's just special to me. He's like the only other one in the family like me. Most of our family's like average height, 6 feet and under, but he and I were both, 6'6", redheaded, left-handed. Like, I don't know, in a lot of ways, I thought it was special to kind of respect him. He passed away in 2019, and that's kind of when I guess that's when I first kind of adapted the name for the music. I didn't really get serious with anything until probably
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, until a couple weeks ago. Probably until I think I uploaded the first original, like when I decided I was in it to win it, and I really wanted to make this thing happen. It was probably May of last year when I uploaded Ain't Got a Dollar, or it might have been Rich Man's Gold was the first one I uploaded on YouTube. But that's when I decided, like, all right, I'm doing this thing. But yeah,
so you were just smoking too much weed, drinking too much, and just procrastinating.
Yeah. And so like, anxiety is definitely something that's underestimated. I used to but I used to just not really understand when people talked about mental health and anxiety, because everyone gets stressed out over stuff, and so you think of anxiety as being just like this normal phenomenon everyone deals with. Your mind can really put you in a dark place to where that thing is just like, it just holds on to you like and it just makes it very difficult for you to do anything. And so I spent at least 2 years of my life almost constantly just having what felt like just a knot right here, just wrenching at me.
Well, that's especially true for people that are pursuing a non-traditional life, that doesn't have any guarantees. It's a wild life to try to be an entertainer, like just to choose to try to make it in this wild world of people that are singing and making songs, and you want people to pay attention to you. Like, do you know how many fucking people are singing? Yeah. How many people can sing? How many people are recording things? And now with YouTube and the like, how many people are putting stuff up on the internet for other people to enjoy? It's a lot. Well, the idea that you're going to stand out. So that you're filled with anxiety just because of that, because this future's uncertain.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of the anxiety came from me just feeling like I was running out of time. Like, I knew that I had an ability to pursue this and kind of take this adventure on, and I just had kept, like I said, for 10 years or more, I'd pick the thing up for a few months and then I'd put it down, and just always doubting myself,
Yeah.